Hi everyone, welcome to Sarah Be Too Good, where we learn to be too good to ourselves. Thank you guys for joining and watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button and share this video. Thank you guys so much for joining and stopping by and watching this video. I was thinking today what I initially was going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about. So anyhow, I was just thinking how when I first started this YouTube channel, it was not to be a content creator. I wasn't. Instead, I created this channel to create a safe space for both men and women to be too good to themselves and how to be too good to themselves. And in that space, not only was it a platform created, a safe space for others to learn to be too good to themselves, but in turn, it became another place of healing, of therapy for me. And so while I'm currently in therapy, I have a therapist. I do have a therapist, but this became another level, another space for me to heal. I've written my second manuscript, a 40,000 plus manuscript. It's in the process. It's in the process right now. And so my goal was to have it published by August, but it didn't happen that way, but it's still in the process. And so it'll be published soon. And so just like I was, as I was working on that manuscript, that became therapeutic for me as well. And so here it is, I'm in this space and I'm creating content, and that wasn't the purpose for me to create content. And so, different things would just come to me. And so creating the content is not an issue. It's not an issue at all, creating content. It's just that creating content, I don't want to say it's hard, but you can I'm just going to tell it on myself. And so, I have a lot of moving parts, a lot of broken pieces, that are happening in my life in real time right now in my life. And being intentional about not focusing on those broken pieces when I could, but instead being intentional about getting up, choosing myself by getting up off the floor with the broken pieces and fixing my own crown and moving forward. And while in that space, making sure that I have enough energy, number one, to create a video, and two, to ensure that my energy is right and my spirit is right, when I hit this record button. And so again, creating the content, it's not an issue for me. It's just all the other, stuff that's going on. And so when I woke up this morning, I was heavy because I had this well thought out plan to do something. And this well thought out plan was supposed to take me to the next level. Well, unfortunately, that plan didn't pan out the way that I had envisioned, had hoped, for it to. And so I was down in the dumps. Last night. I was down in the dumps when I first woke up until I was met with a shift. I literally had a shift this morning. And so while I was so focused on the one plan that I had, as if that was the only plan, as if that was the only plan for me to do what I need to do to elevate to the next level, I was reminded by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that one, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. And although I had that well thought through plan that was supposed to take me to the next level, there's another way to do it. And perhaps the way that I wanted it to happen, perhaps it didn't happen that way for my own protection. And in that, I found peace. I found peace in that knowing that I don't have to get bogged down. I don't have to concern myself when things don't go the way that I want them to go. I don't have to consume myself with being overly concerned with how it turned out. And I want to digress a little bit. And so while I'm even sharing that, I remember I had this dream long time ago. I had this dream long time ago. And I was headed somewhere. I was headed somewhere in this dream. And I was at the airport. And I was at gate 7. And I got ready to, when you go up to the ticket counter to present your boarding pass, well, then I was told at that moment that the plane that I was scheduled to board, that there was a change. It was a change in gate, but I didn't know that until I got to the counter. And so it was a change in gate, and so I was at gate 7, and it changed to gate 12. So here it is, I'm at the airport, and I was running. This was a real dream that I had years ago. And so I'm at the airport, and I'm running from gate 7, and I'm running to gate 12 to make it to my flight. And I'm running through the airport, and I'm running through the airport. And I made it. I made it to the airport. I was already at the airport, but I made it to my gate. From gate 7 to gate 12, I made it to my gate. I'm on the plane, and I'm sitting on my seat. I'm sitting in my seat on this plane, and the sun is just beaming in on that plane. And so that dream literally came to me while I'm sharing this content. And that's what I mean by, creating content creating content has never been an issue for me. But I believe that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob reminded me of that dream that I had many, many years ago, because God knew that I was going to be faced with so many distractions to pull me off course, off the path that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had set for me. But in spite of all the distractions that have come my way in the past and all the distractions that are still before me, I still made it to my destination. I still made it to my destination. And so I'm here to encourage you on today. I know you have a plan to do things. I know, I get it. I had a plan. But I want to remind you that there's more than one way to make something happen. There's more than one way for God to execute, make happen what He desires to happen in our lives. And so there's no need for you to be concerned about how you're going to get there. Just be open, be fluid, be ready to pivot when the time comes. And a lot of times you won't know when it's time to pivot until you're actually in that moment. But while you're on your way to pivoting, one thing that I do want you to do starting today, is being mindful of what you say. Being mindful of what you allow to come out of your mouth. And it's not that you're lying, it's not that you're pretending, but you're just mindful of the weight and the power of your words. I want you to rest in that. Wherever it is that God has for you to be at an appointed time, you will get there. This leveling up that you desire, this leveling up that you want to do, it'll happen. But keep in mind, it's not just you alone. As bad as you want to level up, so does the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob want you to level up as well. And so keep in mind, you're not in it by yourself. You're not in it by yourself. Stop thinking you're in it by yourself. Stop thinking you're in it by yourself. And remember, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get done what God needs to get done in your life and through you. You guys, thank you so much for joining and watching this video. I'm just smiling because of the reminder that God given me while creating this video. This was not even what I was going to talk about. This was not what I was going to talk about. And so you guys, thank you for joining and watching this video. And we'll get better. You're already on the path to better. You're already there. Keep walking, keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other. And until next time, Sarah Be Too Good, where we learn to be too good to ourselves. And I love you. For real, for real. I love you.